Well, there's a little bit of sampling from um, the forthcoming Deliverance record that we are going to be starting to track here. Hello, YouTubers, Facebookers, and all other onlookers. It's Jimmy P. Brown II coming at you from Three Frog Studios. So, I've been reading without getting too into detail, some interesting kind of abusive emails, and I apologize. I usually stay in touch answering my emails via the video log, but just haven't had a chance. I've been swamped here, and working on two simultaneous projects, Deliverance and the solo album, which is going to be entitled Eraserhead, and then amongst the other everyday work that we have here at the Frogs. So, but some of these emails have been so strange, and I will answer a good host of the other ones because I've been doing my subgrouping and everything. And if you've been watching the video channel, you know that that's how I do it. I subgroup, and if they're all kind of along the same line, I'll try to answer, a few things at a time. But the emails about the crowdfunding, I have to address a couple of them. Actually, quite a few, more than a couple. I don't know if Jim Chaffin has gotten any like these ones, but I'm just going to pretty much just shoot straight from the hip and tell people exactly what I think. These the bulk of the emails, a lot of them have been supportive, and it's been fantastic, and I thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart for contributing to the new Deliverance record, because we are doing this for you, those that want this record. The same with the Eraserhead album, the fans of the River Disturbance and Camelot and Learn era. I want you to have an album to be happy with too, and it's going to be more in line with similarities of that. Actually, a growth departure, but there's some similarities. All that aside, I've been getting some really critical and rude emails about the crowdfunding, and all saying, you're rich, you have money. Why are you doing a crowdfunding and taking money from people and stealing money from, or not so much stealing, but taking people's hard-earned money so you can make a record? And first off, let me make it very, very, very plain in English. I'm not rich. Deliverance didn't make me a millionaire. Okay? It didn't even make me close to a millionaire. I've done it because I believed in it. I did it because my love of doing it was there. I believed in the message. I believed in the music. But it didn't make me a millionaire. It didn't even, like I said, not even nowhere near close. Was I lucky enough to make a decent living at it at one time? Yeah, and I'm going to use the word decent. Not good, not well off, decent. Paid bills. But it didn't make me wealthy. And I'm not wealthy now. What did provide a decent amount of money and living was my getting a straight job and working a straight job. That's what gave me any type of money that I had, not deliverance. It's always been for the love of it, for the love of the art, for the love of doing music, and more importantly, seeing that it touches people and reaches people. And I want that to be made very, very clear. I don't own a recording studio. I've said this in my last video, and I'll say it again. I work at a recording studio. I'm treated as a partner. Okay, I'm treated very, very well here. I have keys, I have my run of the place, but it doesn't mean I can take advantage of my employer and just do whatever I want when I want. There's schedules that have to be followed, and time has to be paid for. Okay? Just like if I worked at a paper mill and I decided to start, doing posters and poster art, and I would ask my boss, can you give me a discount at printing my posters and my artwork? But I wouldn't just go in there after hours sneaking in and just do all this crap, use their paper, use their ink and everything else just to print off something that I would go and try to make some money off of. It's not ethical. It's not right. And that's the biggest thing that I've been told is, oh, it's not ethical what you're doing. And I've got to shoot straight to you people, because it's been at least 30 emails that I've read, all from different people, saying this is unethical what you're doing, what you're asking of your fans. Bands have been doing it for years and raising way more money than what we've raised. And, if you simply just don't want to donate and you're one of these people that look for free music and you want to download the stuff for free when it comes out, more power to you. Be a thief. Steal. It's what you do. It's what you do. And, I don't criticize people in the sense that I'm going to hunt you out and start emailing you and criticizing you. That's your business. You want to talk ethics and you want to talk about things like that, fine, you do it. You do whatever you want. I went through my period of downloading free software, downloading free music, and then I started feeling very, very guilty about it. It had nothing to do with Christian ethics or anything like that. It just had to do with ethics. It had to do with knowing that people worked hard for months, even years, to create the software that I was using for free, that I was using hacks, and music that people spent money to go and record. Because even if they recorded it in their house, they still had to spend the money to buy the software, buy the outboard gear and the gear to record the stuff. And the workman is worthy of his hire. I've stayed silent. I've talked about some of this kind of thing. Piracy, all this other stuff. It just exists. It is what it is. But like I said, it is what it is. And people are going to always go and get their music for free. Especially this new generation. This new generation of people, they think, oh yeah, the music exists for you to go out and get for free on a torrent. They don't realize that back in the day when we were signed to a record label, we were given a recording budget, okay? Say $100,000, okay? And we used that $100,000. It wasn't like put into my checking account and we just wrote checks to pay for things. No, they paid for it all. And then they would put the record out. You as the fan would hopefully buy the record. And you would pay your $10, $12, $14.99 back then. And out of that $14.99, the band's share was anywhere between 60 to 80 cents. Okay? 60 to 80 cents out of that $14.99. And that's understandable to a degree. People had to be paid, distributors, salespeople, call center teams. I get it. Overhead's huge, especially for a record label. And that's what the artists would get to put the records out for you guys, for the fans, to make sure that you guys got to listen to what you wanted to listen to. But that was our share. And the funny thing was, We had to sell enough records to pay that $100,000 back before we got that 80 cents per record. So whatever it was, that's why we had to try to keep the budgets as low as possible, because we had to pay it back. Well, the same thing goes into now. I have a home studio. I have a home studio full of gear and equipment, all this guitar gear that I have, anything that I buy of my own is in $30, $40, $50, $60,000 range. Okay? This recording studio that has all this beautiful gear in it, $400,000, $500,000, and $600,000 invested in the gear here. That's a reality. So it has to be paid for. It has to be paid for, and that's why we're in business. That's why this place is here. This is why I manage it, because I'm an engineer and I can record people and try to help them realize their dreams and to work on their art. That's what I do. Okay, but it is a business. And people saying that it's unethical for us to ask our fans, well, you know why it's unethical to you? Because you're probably the people that go and download the crap for free and steal from the bands that put their life, sweat, and blood and money into making this art, into making this music that you're enjoying or that you criticize, one of the two. But you didn't pay for it. You didn't contribute to help us by buying it in the first place. It wasn't like that back in the day. People supported us by buying it. So in order to make and create a record, we need to pay for studio time. We need to pay for flights. We need to pay for traveling. We need to pay for mastering. We need to pay to process the CDs. Those things need to be paid for somehow. And quite honestly, even if I were a millionaire, I would still probably have agreed to do the crowdfunding for one reason and one reason only. Because if you, the fan, wants it, you should pay for it. I didn't wait to find a torrent of Bowie's catalog or Pink Floyd's catalog. I bought it. I went out and I paid the money for it. Now, some people can argue and say, oh, well, Gilmour's already a millionaire. Why'd you buy Dark Side of the Moon, the reissue? I don't care if he's a millionaire or not. I don't care if Bowie was a millionaire. I don't care if these people were millionaires. They made something, they put money into something, and I'm going to support it. So I don't understand when people view or deem the crowdfunding as unethical. It's not unethical. We want to provide our fans something. We're not, the day and age of the record labels, it's not completely over, but it's not like it used to be. And we wanted to make this possible for you. And for those critics, for those people that actually, and then you cite scripture on top of it, know what you're citing before you start to tout the Bible and you start pulling out scriptural references. Know what those are in reference to. Because it's funny how I never saw anything about the workman being worthy of his hire. Never. I see all this freely I've received, freely you've received, freely you've given. That's talking about the message of the gospel. This is entertainment, what we do. Music is entertainment. Can it be uplifting? Can it be spiritual? Can it help people? Can it encourage? Can it bring forth the message? Yeah, it sure can. But nonetheless, it's entertainment. And I don't walk to the movie theater to go see the new Star Wars and say, oh, you should just let me in for free. I don't walk up to the soda fountain and say, well, you know, I just paid $14 to get into this IMAX theater, so that should come with a free soda and free popcorn. You just pay. So I don't get it. And these people, cracks me up, one person that actually wrote me, actually posted on their website, or on their Facebook, and said, "Oh yeah, they wrote me this whole unethical, and I should be ashamed of myself, and Deliverance should be ashamed for charging or trying to raise money to record this when we should be doing it for free because we make all this money." And they put on their thing, "I can't live without 1 or 2 Starbucks a day." That's a minimum $4 to $6 a drink. And they do it 5 days a week for their work week. That's $200 to $300 a month for Starbucks, when you can very well, for 20, 30 cents a cup, make your own cup of Starbucks at home. But you have no problem handing over the money. Or do you drive through the drive-through and say, oh, I get this Frappuccino for free? I don't get it. So in the day and age, because our stuff does get ripped off, the torrents of media, it doesn't matter how much we ask, it doesn't matter how much we plead, it doesn't matter how much we say, please help us stop piracy. Don't provide this stuff for free. It's not fair. It's not fair to the artist. It's not fair to anybody else there. It's not fair to the record label that put it out. People still do it. They don't care. There's no conscience anymore. And it's sad. This is where we've come. And you know what? It is what it is. But don't you dare point the finger and say you're being unethical by doing a crowdfunding to raise money to make a record for the people. I had to say my piece because I'm tired of reading it, and I'm not going to post it. I'm not going to post, all these things and get into flame wars like they call it with people. Why? But I am going to speak my piece about it, and that's why I do the video logs, because I want to speak my piece. I tried to say it all in 5 minutes. It didn't happen. We're at 16 minutes. So I'm just going to end it now. But I will say this. The guys are coming out. We're excited. They'll be here on the 14th. We start tracking on the 15th. We're very, very thrilled to be doing this. And if you haven't contributed, I understand. If you can, please help us, because things do have to be paid for. And we've all got families and responsibilities and houses and mortgages and everything else that we have to take care of for, and that's what our day jobs do. Okay, but we're taking time off from our day jobs to do this. So please help if you can. If not, we're still going to make a good record. And we're also going to be doing something that we want to release it only to the people that crowdfunded it. And the rest of the public will get it at a later time during the year, but we only want it released now. If it ends up on the net, it ends up turned loose, then we know it was one of you guys that didn't ask for, didn't, listen to our request not to allow piracy. But same time you helped us, and we appreciate it. But either way, please don't point the fingers without having any type of, especially saying, oh, you're rich, you're wealthy. You don't know me. You don't know my personal situation. You haven't a clue. So don't point the fingers. Because even if I were, or if I weren't, this is not unethical what we're doing. Jimmy Brown signing off.